So what's the Grape Explorer talking about today? Well, something that is really near and dear to my heart is an area of France. It's called Chateauneuf du Pape. And it's quite famous. A lot of Americans know this, this very, very famous wine. It's one of the wines also that you can see that it's got this in bottle, this Chateauneuf right on the label. And so all the Chateauneuf du Papes have this. Chateauneuf du Pape is famous for a lot of things. One, it was the first wine to become what we called AOC or Appellation. And it was in the 20s, and what they were trying to do was to make sure that nothing was coming in that would not represent Chateauneuf du Pape. So all the grapes have to be grown into this area, defined area, Chateauneuf du Pape. And we have this wonderful map, so we can kind of point it out a little bit. And Chateauneuf du Pape, if you can see on the map, is very close to Gigondas, and we call this the Southern Rhone. So this is the Southern Rhone starts here, and the Northern Rhone. In our last video, we were talking about Crozes Hermitage. So if you go a little farther south here, you're coming to an area, and it's called Chateauneuf du Pape, which is quite close to the city of Avignon. And Avignon was quite famous because at that time, the Vatican was, of course, in Rome, but they also had the next pope up, which was Pope Clement. He was actually from Bordeaux. So they actually decided to move the Vatican to Avignon. And that is the reason why they call it the Chateau of the Pope. So it's Chateauneuf du Pape. And another reason why it's quite famous is 13 different varietals can be used in Chateauneuf du Pape. The most famous varietals, of course, are Syrah. You got Grenache, and you got Cinsault, and a little bit of Carignan can be used in the blend. But some of these wines are both mostly Grenache and Syrah. So this is an interesting little family here. This comes from the Sabon family, and Sabon is quite famous in Chateauneuf du Pape. Actually, Roger Sabon is the leading producer there at Clos Olivet. And so when the family decided to give up different parcels of land in Chateauneuf du Pape, there was 4 brothers, and one of the brothers is Bernard Sabon, was given some parcel of land in Chateauneuf du Pape, and then hence he gave it to his daughter, who's now running the property. Her name is Mylene, and Mylene is they're a small producer here, but it's, as you can see on the label, Sabon Rocheville, and that's her husband now is Rocheville, and of course Sabon. And the families try to keep it in the family, so they're making Côte du Rhône as well. But this is a beautiful wine. This is 2016. As you can see, a deep color. When you smell Chateauneuf du Pape, you get a lot of different wood scents, but also you get a lot of dried figs and fruits. The vineyard, if you actually go into the vineyard, you'll see very, very large rocks underneath the vines. And the reason for these rocks is because when the sun is coming down, and it's hitting the rocks, it actually, the heat comes back up into the plant, and it gives the wines a little higher alcohol. So you're gonna see more alcohol in these wines than you're gonna see maybe in Bordeaux or in Burgundy, where they don't have this ripening kind of this Syrah and the Grenache. So these are beautiful wines. Chateauneuf du Pape can be quite expensive, but when you look for smaller families like this, like the Sabon family, usually you can get away with something like $40 a bottle of this wine. So beautiful wine. Again, Grape Explorer. We want to not only highlight grapes, but we want to highlight what's called appellations of France. And we want to also highlight this beautiful map, because if anybody's interested in learning about wines of France, the best way to find these wine maps is online, and they do highlight all the geographical areas and tell you all the appellations. These are all the appellations in France. So again, this is the Grape Explorer, talking about grapes, talking about wine. If you like our content, please check out and hit the subscribe button, and we're gonna have lots of videos coming your way.